welcome back to Copperhead Customs. What are we doing today? Well, you will need to stick around if you want to find out. Well, today we are doing something completely different. Well, what are you doing? What are we doing? Well, I'm glad you asked. We are going on a huge road trip to pick up another car we've purchased at auction.
Once, going twice, sold.
Is it another smashed one?
Yes, that's right, another salvaged car that has had another accident that we will endeavour to fix. That's right, we're heading up to a place called Bundaberg, which is famous for Bundaberg rum.
Hey there, we like rum.
Yes, we're heading from where we are on the southern side of Brisbane, way up north to Bundaberg, because we purchased another car. This time we've purchased a Chrysler 300C. What year is the oldest shape? It's a 2010. Now, we have had both the older version and the newer version of the 300C, and they are beautiful cars and look really gangster.
You say you a gangster, but you never nothing. You say you a wankster, and you need to stop fronting.
So this one is black, with black interior and black wheel. We've never seen it in person. You can only buy these things off pictures on the internet. But the damage looks very minor. Yes, that's right. The damage does look very minor on this. From the pictures, it looks like there's suspension damage only, but you never know. So we do not even know if it has a key, but I have a feeling that it does. And we do not even know how many miles on it. But I believe it is around 170 kilometres. Due to, I seen a little service sticker in one of the pictures. So, fingers crossed, it's okay, and we didn't just do our dosh. Before, you asked the question, why are we doing all these salvaged cars to repair and breaking away from building our hot rods? Well, the reason being is we don't get paid to build these hot rods. This is done out of my money and my time. And at the moment, we don't get paid much from YouTube. But the bills keep rolling in, so occasionally we have to do the odd flip car to generate some bonduli. Yes, so that's right, we're going to do a few flip cars to generate some income so we can get back and finish the hot rod. So with all that said, the trailer's loaded up. I'll see you in the morning. We'll leave bright and early, and let's see what we get. so we are back. It is the next day, and, well, there it is. This is a 2010 Chrysler 300C. It's the V6, the 3.5 V6. Not bad condition. There's a few little blemishes here and there. We will find some more when we clean it up. I discovered now it has a flat battery, so we can't close the boot. There's a little mark in the roof. I'd say when the bloke pranged it, he probably got out and punched the roof from the looks of it. There's a little blemish here. Might buff out, but there's a little tiny... I think most of that will buff off. But this is basically our damage, is this wheel. Got a bent steering arm, and I would say it's got a bent spindle, is what I think. We'll know more when we pull it all apart and then get a look in there. But overall, it's pretty clean. Its body works pretty good. There is a little tiny rip in the seat, which wasn't shown. So yeah, there's that little tiny mark on there. Just give that a touch up. And on here, you can see this little tiny... It's pretty hard for you to spot, I think. Anyway, take my word for it. You'll see it in the sun later. There's a little tiny dent just there. I reckon you might have seen it just there. See that? I reckon he's punched it after he smashed it. So we've got to take the battery out, get that on charge. And there's the little tear in the seat. It's all pigged up, so we're going to... That's our first port of call, is we're going to give the outside a rinse and clean the inside. Now, probably our biggest problem would be these wheels. They're the factory sizes in their 18s. I've had a few of these Chryslers in the time, and I normally have 22s on them. They look really good, but they are not the best ride, especially living out here in the country. Now, our plan with this is I think it will go up for sale, but we're basically going to drive this around a bit ourselves. There's another little tiny little mark just there as well. Yeah, the plan is we're probably going to drive this around ourselves for a while, but it will be on the market for sale. So, those wheels, being factory size, are great living out here in the country, but the rim for this one we have, it's up the top and it is destroyed. So, we have to, these are pretty well brand new though, so we have to try to see if we can get a new one from the manufacturer. They're Speedy is the brand. So we're going to see if we can buy one. If we can buy one, we will. If not, we'll have to buy a new second-hand set of mags. So there's a quick walk around on it. Right, we have the black honeycomb grille, which is what I had on my last one with the blacked out badges. We've got these black headlight covers that look really nice, and we've got the chrome inserts there, the chrome mirror covers, the chrome pillar covers have been put on. This one here is a bit spazzoed. It's got a little wing that's sort of half glued on, and it's got the black badges on the back as well. Step now is we will I'm just going to clean all the crap out of it, so I won't bother you with that unless I find something cool. We'll clean it all out, we'll give it a vacuum and a clean, and then we'll give it a pressure clean and see what she scrubs up like, and we'll come back. Alright, so we have emptied all the rubbish out in the boot here. We've taken the mat out. We've got to go through there and clean all that. There was some sort of a cream or something that splashed everywhere, so we've got to address that. No jack, so we have to write that down. So what we do is when we do this, we also write a little list down of anything we see that is damaged or broken or what have you. So I've got a few little things written down. I've got a door rubber there that's a bit ratty. It obviously had a stereo in it that he ganked back out. So there's been like the big main pyro fuse and stuff in the back, and there's a set of amp cables that I've been tracing forward and ripping out. Now under here, it looks like a little mousy nest had just started. As you can see, we pulled the back seat out to clean all under there, because if your car's a bit on the nose, it's like a Viking, a bit rank when you buy it, good chance it's under that seat. So under the seat, there's always kids, lollies and old food, and always in there. So it's not hard. Pull the seat out, clean it up, and generally you'll find some money. So anyway, wasn't a lot of money in here. These guys wouldn't say they were tweakers, but they definitely smoked the whoopee weed, I think, because I found some remnants of that around the place. But anyways, that's beside the point. As you can see, this side is all looking beautiful. Beautiful! That's its first vacuum. It will get more vacuum, but we've got to still go over and detail everything else. So we're over that side now. So anyway, quick call in. So the plan is we'll vacuum it all out, and then I will show you the result, and I'll go over and quickly wipe over the inside. Let's talk. More action. Okay, so we've just given it a wash. The bonnet, we actually use some exterior detailer, which is a bit like a wax, but it's not a wax. It's a wipe on, buff off.
On me, wax on, wax off
type little thing in a spray bottle, because as you can see, it's still a bit dirty, hazy. You probably can't pick it up on camera, but it'll come up pretty good with that. Really, it could probably do with a cut and polish to get rid of some scratches and swirls in it, but overall it's looking much better. Now the boot here has a few issues. It's a bit cloudy. That could probably do with a bit of a tickle up, I would say. We'll have a go at a good cut and polish on that and see how that will pick up, but that's not what we're doing now. The plan was just to get it clean, so we start with a clean base. That's what I like to do. Like I said, car's owned by tweakers, I think. So you don't know how dirty and what they've got and, you know, whatever. So I like to clean the cars before I start working on them, okay? So we've cleaned the outside, we've done the inside. Like I said, it's not finished product. It's just its first go over. But as you can see, it's actually scrubbing up. I haven't done the roof lining yet. I haven't ozoned it. And I've got to put the mats back in. The driver's mat is no good. So we've got to get a new driver's mat. We've got to get the stereo out. I'm going to replace the stereo with a CD because we're old, we like a CD. And we're going to get rid of these stereo wires at the same time. Like I said, I've got a list of little things like this rubber here is perished. The console's got a little tear. This seat has a little tear. It's also missing a little bit of a plastic there. The vent, the one on the other side, it's got a crack. So we've got a little list of little things. But overall, it's come up pretty good, hasn't it? Like, so that's just its first clean. Got more. So anyway, now we haven't done another bonnet yet. We're not going to do that yet. Now, as you can see here, picking that up, how it's a little bit, it's probably not, it's a little bit hazy, so it needs that detailer to put on it to lift it. But a good cut polish would do it. Hand polish even would probably pull it up. So now the plan is we'll jack it up, we'll get the front off the ground, and we'll have a look. I'm going to explain something. I'm going to show you stuff and explain stuff. So this car is listed as a repairable write-off. So if you're from overseas, even if you're from Australia, a lot of you won't understand what this means. So what this means is the insurance company deemed that this car is repairable, but for them, it's not economically viable for them to repair it. Okay. Now then they have this thing called a PPSR, which is the Personal Property Security Register, and that's where this car is listed as a repairable write-off. So on there they list what they say is the damage to write the car off. It's also where if the car's stolen or if the car has finance on it, it will be listed on that. Okay, so it's like a security check for buyers. Okay, so this car is listed on there as a repairable write-off, which means once I fix it, it has to go in to be inspected. So they inspect my work and they inspect my paperwork to make sure the parts are not stolen. So this car has been written off. On the PPSR it says impact panel heavy passenger side, impact panel heavy driver side. So what that means is a panel, a bolt-on or off panel, i.e. bumper bar, has had a heavy impact. So they're saying heavy meaning that it is not a fixable panel, it's a replaced. Well, there's not. There's one little scratch on the bumper, which I will show you right there. Hopefully you can see that little scratch. That is our bumper bar impact. There is no impact on the other side of the car at all. So I don't think that bumper has to be replaced. Do you? No. So both of those are a load of malarkey. Then in it says passenger side suspension light structural. So they're saying there's something structurally wrong. Okay, so now let's look in on our suspension. So we can see the tyre has got in here. This is a plastic cover. This is, as you can see there, that's a bit of tar, so that's nothing. There's the metal. Let's put a black mark on it. It's got into here. The tyre has. Guard liner, nothing, right? Worst case, you replace that. We're not even going to bother. When we look in here, we look at the strut. I've put a straight edge on the strut. The strut is perfectly fine. The same with our spindle, which I thought could be the problem. If we look, the spindle is fine. Now if we look at this front control arm, it actually is fairly straight this way, I think. But as you can see, it's cocked in there. It should be sitting straight. So we're going to replace this. You can see our steering arm there is bent, right? So we need to replace our steering arm. We're going to replace this because I think the bushes might be shagged. And now if we look at this, the lower control arm that the strut is mounted to, it's pretty hard for you to see that. You may be able to tell, but that there is bent. It is curved like that. Okay, so that's our problem. We've got a bent lower, this lower. So we're going to change both lowers and the steering arm. And that is the only thing wrong with this car. Okay, that's the only thing wrong. So this car is written off for 2 lower control arms and a steering arm. Come on. Now, if you wanted to, the law is with insurance, the car has to go back to as it was before. So it needs a new rim, it needs 2 new lowers, a steering arm, replace the guard liner, repaint the bumper, done. It is better than it was before. So for them to write this car off, it is just an absolute joke. So anyway, there's my 2 cents worth. So anyway, you've seen the damage. So what I've done is I've started undoing it all. We'll pull this down. We'll get this lower out. We'll get the other lower out. We'll get the steering arm off. We'll go order the parts tonight. Other side looks fine. I'll take you around quickly. So as you can see, the other side is fine. So that's how that lower should be, straight up and down. There's no issues in this side at all. The K-frame's fine. So we've got everything undone now. That bolt there, that is bent about 45 degrees. So I can't actually get it out. It's in behind there, and as you can see, it's jammed up, but it is bent badly. So I'm going to have to get a reciprocal saw, I think, in and cut it, both sides, and then knock it out. It's going to be a pain. We're going to have to replace it somehow though, but anyway. So I've got no blades. We're going to have to go buy some blades tomorrow. Now, we're going to replace this. If you look up close, check that out. It's all fractured. So it's lucky we pulled that one off. And as you can see, our arm is bent. So 2 lower control arms, a steering arm, boom, done, job done. So yeah, and we're going to have to get a bolt. So anyways, that's us for tonight. You're probably really close because I'm on zoom in. I haven't got my hat on. Woo. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. All right, well, we're in the car. We are about to go to the wrecking yard because we need to get a bolt for the front rear lower control arm. We had to cut the bolt out to get the control arm out, so we've got to go get a new bolt. And while we are there, we'll see if we can find any of the other pieces. So we'll get going. Okay, well, we are back from the wreckers, and this is why I like buying parts cars, because for this bolt, as you can see, it's a special bolt with the little grooves in it. That's so you can adjust the lower control arm. So that bolt, this plastic air vent, $20, $10 for that bolt, and $20 for this rubber. Come on, really? So that's why I like buying my own parts cars. Anyways, that's about all we could get. They all had the grey, epoxy grey interior, no floor mats, no center consoles, but I think we got everything. Oh, and our wheel we ordered yesterday. Ordered a brand spanking new one, the exact same. So that has to get drilled. So we should have that sometime next week, hopefully. Well, we're probably going to try to use the existing tyre. I'll pull that off and swap that around. And we've ordered all our parts. So we ordered a kit that has both steering arms, both sides, both front control arms, both rear control arms, both top arms. So we will just use the bits we need, and we'll have the rest as spares. But it wasn't only $100 more to buy that big kit as it was to buy the 3 parts we needed. Hopefully they'll get here by the end of the week, I'm hoping. So at the moment, we're going to just quickly put that vent in and that door rubber. And just like that, that one is fixed. Very simple and easy. Clip tool, it's a couple of little tabs. Pry that one up, pry this one at the front off. There's a screw down here for this one. Pull it off, put the new one on, done. This one, well, it's just one unit. He's actually glued this in a bit, so we're probably going to destroy it a bit getting it out. But basically, it just pries out. What has he done here? Oh, I think he's glued this in, has he? Yep. Good on you, Peanut. Alright, so they normally just pry out, but whoever had this is super glued and silicone this in. Which is lovely. Hot glue, everything. So we just got to be careful. We don't want to do any damage to the dash or even his epoxy glue. Now we're going to get this bit out. Tell you what, the other one came out a lot easier than this. Okay, so basically we'll clean a bit of this rubbish off this edge. This just slides in. These little prongs lock it in place. Simple as that. I don't know what old mate was doing here. Let's have a try at this. Okay, just like that. So that could have been a lot easier if someone hadn't messed with it. Okay, this chrome piece or brushed aluminium piece, this dash fascia is just plastic clipped in. So you just pry it nice and gingerly, please don't go crazy. Once we get to there, we've got to plug up the top here for the clock that we need to try to get off. There's that one. Okay. And we got two down the bottom. All our aircon controls. And is that it? That's it. So then that's gone. And now we have the stereo. So we have these little plastic pieces on the side. They're just clipped on, which is these little dash fascia. So very gingerly we'll pry them off. Very, very gingerly. There we go. There it goes. Now you normally use a plastic one on the interior. Now it looks like we've got 4 screws, 4 Phillips head screws here. That should remove the head unit. There we'll need to use this bracket on our new unit, it looks like. So theoretically that should be it. Yep, there she comes. And then we have this big mess of wires. Okay, so this is the one we pulled out, a look bunk, or however you want to say it. So this is a pretty nice unit, pretty modern, but no CD player in it. Now this one here is Sony, but I think it's a few years old now, but it was quite expensive when we got it. But it has a CD player, so that's what we're worried about. We just want to have radio and CD, but it also has USB and AUX and all that. I'm not sure if it's Bluetooth or not. I think it is. I think that's what that there is, a little Bluetooth thing. So it's got all that other malarkey in it, but it has a CD player. So this here is, from what I can work out, a proper plug for the 300, I think. So anyway, what we're going to do is, this is the wiring here is from our one we're going to install. So we're going to get all these freed up. I think what we're going to do is we're basically going to cut this off here, and we're going to wire all of these wires. We're going to join onto these wires. Okay, so there it is, all joined. Chrysler plug on. So that is ready. We've put the we took the mount bracket off, so we've got the new mount bracket on. So we're just got to give the face a clean, and that is ready to go in. But it's dark, going inside. See you tomorrow. Okay, so we've got these tail lights, stock factory ones, and in a box inside it, he had another set that have a slight little tint. What I'm thinking is, I think they might look nice. Just, they're not overly black, but they're just slightly tinted. If we come out here, I think they might look nice. So we might put them in. So let's quickly change them out. Then we'll put our new stereo in it. Then I think our front end parts are coming today. Okay, so we've done the tinted tail lights. I think we're happy with them. Look nice, eh? Like, they're not badly tinted, they're just smoked. So we've done them. They're in. If we can carefully open this door, our new stereo. Now it's obviously nearly night time, but our new stereo is in, mounted with our CD player. Yes, so that's all done, easy peasy.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Now, suspension. We've done this side. What I ended up doing was, I ended up doing everything. I did the top arm, the drop link, new drop link, new front lower, new rear lower, you can see it down there, and a new tie rod, steering arm, whatever you want to call it. So I ended up replacing the whole lot. Now we're doing this side, we're tearing this side down. So we're going to do, basically we're doing all suspension, both sides, everything will be brand new. Didn't need it, but I just thought we're doing one side, we may as well do the other side. So yes, we've got the top arm to pull out, and the strut has to come out. I've got both lowers are out, the steering arm's off, everything's off by the top arm. Now the top arm's absolutely painful. There's one little nut just there. See that one? Right, and then there's another one down in there, and you have to undo these nuts. You can't undo them on the inside, you got to undo those nuts. So it is an absolute pain. So this side here, there it is in there. So we had to take the overflow bottle off. We took the air filter top, and the other one's down in there. You can't even see it. You can't even see it. That's how painful it was. So anyway, we got it done. A few busted knuckles, bit of swearing. They're not hard, but I'll tell you what, I've got half my toolkit out. They use some oddball sizes, lots of 18s, 16s. We've got everything. I've got every size nearly out here from, we've got 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, 19, 21, and 22. So, yeah, unbelievable. Anyways, we'll finish that in the morning. As you can see, it's dark. Little matey's down here. He's getting very restless. And it doesn't look that dark, but it is just about pitch black. So, enough talk. We will see you in the morning. See you tomorrow.
Because he's Mexican, and it makes sense.
So we've got it all rebuilt now. Something a lot of you would know, but some of you may not, is when you do, if you were to do all this, you actually, before you tighten it all up, you need to jack this up so the car would be at ride height. Then you can do up your lower control arm bushings and the top and all that. Don't do any of them up until this is up at ride height. Otherwise you will preload your bushings in the wrong spot and your suspension will wear out quicker. Suspension's all rebuilt now. We've got this wheel on, put the other wheel on. I think we'll take it for a little test drive up the street, but it's going to definitely need a wheel alignment because all of that is all new and it's all adjustable, so that's not going to be right and nowhere near it. See, that wheel looks like it's pointing out. No, I think they both look like they're pointing slightly left, so steering wheel's slightly left, so who knows, but it's definitely going to need a wheel alignment. So, but we can't do that till we get our new mag. All right, well, there we go. That's pretty well done, I'd say, guys. We've still got a couple of little things, nothing major. There's our new wheel, existing tyre, went back on it. I just did that. I've still got put a little bit of touch-up paint on the bumper, just with a brush. There's a little piece on the back to do. It needs a good buff and polish, and it needs to go in for a wheel alignment. So I've just given it a eyeball wheel alignment. It's a little bit out, but it's close. As you can see, down there, I think it's turned out pretty good, isn't it? And there's the other wheel, so they're a little bit out, but the steering wheel's a little bit out, but it's close enough for them to tune it. So that's turned out pretty good, hasn't it? And pretty easy. So yeah, like I said, cut and polish, another vacuum, wheel alignment. We'll throw some new oil in it. Look at that, done. Easy. So that was basically about I'll put it in the screen. Right, so you just would have seen what this cost me and how long it took me. So you tell me what you reckon. I think that for that money and for that amount of time, it's a pretty nice car. So you tell me, is that a bargain or is that a bargain? So anyway, not bad, eh? Alright, so that was something different. We'll do another one of these auction cars. We're going to do a little Suzuki Swift hatchback, Suzuki Swift Sport. So if you haven't seen one of them before, might be a bit of fun. They actually go pretty fast, they handle pretty good. So we're going to do one of them next. And as always, we're still doing our hot rods. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.